Ultamize. If you want to make better use of your time without constantly thinking about it, change your default behaviors because most of what you do each day is not the result of a conscious decision. It is the result of habit. You follow patterns, you repeat actions, often without noticing. And those patterns determine how your time is spent. For example, when you have a few free minutes, what do you do automatically? Do you check your phone? Do you scroll? Do you open something without a clear purpose? Email? Those are defaults and they fill your time without adding much value. You could, for example, read another chapter in a book. It could be on your cell phone or on a computer screen, but it would be something that would build your knowledge base, potentially make you more productive. Another example is how you respond to pauses in your day. When a task ends or when you're waiting for something, there's often a small gap. What do you do in that gap? That matters. If your default is to engage with distractions, those gaps become lost time, and those small moments accumulate over time. This is why changing defaults is so powerful because it does not require constant effort. Once a new default is established, it operates automatically. For example, instead of reaching for your phone during a short break, you might review your next task. You might jump up and do a little exercise, some stretches, some jumping jacks, or you might take a moment to reset and prepare. That small shift changes how those gaps are used. Another useful approach is to identify your most common low value defaults because you cannot change what you don't notice. For example, pay attention to where your time goes during unstructured moments. Notice patterns, notice repetitions. Once you see them, you can adjust them. Another effective strategy is to replace, not remove, because removing a behavior without replacing it often leaves a gap. And that gap gets filled by the original behavior. For example, if you're trying to stop checking your phone without deciding what you'll do instead, you're likely to return to checking your phone. But if you replace that action with something highly specific, the transition is easier. For example, you might replace a default of scrolling with the default of reviewing your own priority list or organizing your next step. That creates a new pattern. Another important factor is accessibility because your defaults are often influenced by what is easiest to access. For example, if distractions are immediately available, they become the default. But if useful actions are just as accessible, they're more likely to be used. This is where small changes in your environment can help. Make productive actions easy to start. Make distractions less immediate. That shifts your defaults over time. Another point to consider is repetition because defaults are built through repetition. The more you repeat a behavior, the more automatic it becomes. For example, if you consistently use a short break to prepare for your next task, that behavior becomes your default. You no longer have to think about it, it just happens naturally. Another benefit of changing defaults is that it reduces wasted time without requiring additional effort because you're not adding new tasks. You're simply using existing time more effectively. That makes the improvement sustainable. Another important aspect is awareness during transitions because defaults often take over during those moments. When one task ends and another hasn't yet started, your brain looks for something to do. That's when defaults appear. By becoming aware of those moments, you can choose a different action. And over time, that choice becomes automatic. The goal isn't to eliminate all low value activities. We all want to check Facebook occasionally or look at a silly video. I get it. It's to prevent them from becoming the automatic response. We don't want these time wasters to be the first line of defense. Because when low value actions are the default, they consume your time without adding much in return. But when high value actions become the default, your time is used more effectively without extra effort. So please pay attention to your patterns. Identify your defaults and make small adjustments because changing what you do automatically is one of the most efficient ways to improve how you use your time.